Hello everyone, welcome back to our third video of microservices. In this video, we are going to introduce the microservice architecture. Microservice architecture is basically service-oriented architecture. After years of doing service-oriented architecture, people have realized that service-oriented architecture should be and this is basically what microservices is. It is an evolution of service-oriented architecture. Microservices basically introduced a new set of additional design principles which teach us how to size a service correctly because there are no guidance in the past on how to size an service and what to include in a service. Traditional service-oriented architectures resulted in monolithic large services and because of the size of the service these services became inefficient to scale up and to change in a reliable way. Smaller services, that is microservice, basically provides services which are more efficiently scalable, which are flexible and can provide high performance in the areas where performance is required. An applications which is powered by multiple microservices which is based on the microservice architecture is normally an application which is powered by multiple microservices and each one of these microservices will provide a set of related functions to a specific part of application. A microservice normally provides a set of related functions to application, to client applications and client services because microservices are normally single focus. It does one thing and it does it well. Lightweight communication. Microservice architecture uses lightweight communication mechanism between client and services and service to service. The communication mechanism has to be lightweight and quick because when you carry out transactions within a microservice architecture system, the transactions will be distributed transaction which is completed by multiple microservices. Therefore, the service needs to be communicate to each other in a quick and efficient way over the network. It needs to be lightweight and fast communication. Technology agnostic. The application interface of microservice, that is the way you talk about microservice, also need to be a technology agnostic. This is basically means that service needs to be used open communication protocol so that it does not dedicate to the technology that the client application need to use. And by using open communication protocols, for example, HTTP, REST, we could easily have .NET client applications, Java applications, which talks to the Java-based microservices in a monolithic service. You are also likely to have central database in order to share the data between the applications and services. In microservice architecture, each microservice has own data storage. So independent data storage, independent changeable. Another key characteristic of microservice is that it is independently changeable. I can upgrade, enhance or fix a specific microservice without changing any of the clients or any of the other services within the system. And because of this, microservices are independently changeable. They also need to be independently deployable. So the next characteristic is independently deployable. By modifying one microservice, I should be able to be deploy that change within my system independently from everything else without deploying anything else. So next characteristic is distributed transactions. We are already mentioned the fact that you can make a transaction within the microservice architecture system. The transaction is most likely to be completed by multiple services which are distributed, and therefore your transaction also a distributed transaction. And final thing is centralizing tool for management. And because a microservice architecture system has so many moving parts, there need to be a centralized tooling for managing the microservices. You need something, a tool which will be help to manage and see the health of your system because there are so many moving parts. Now let's have a look at high level architecture diagram for a microservice system. This is an example of typical e-commerce system and you can see on the left hand side our shopping website is running in a customer browser. The browser connects our microservice, the website via internet, and our shopping website might be a some .NET MVC website which is running in a on an ISP internet service provider. All the processes required for all the interactions with the website is actually carried out by a number of microservices which are running in the background. Each microservice has focus or is each microservice will focus on a single set of related functions, and each microservice has its own data storage, and it also independently changeable and deployable. So for example, we could upgrade the order service without operating any other parts of my system. Therefore, there might also be multiple instances for each type of microservices. For example, if the order service is in demand, we might have several instances of the order service in order to satisfy the demand. In the order to direct a request from shopping website to correct instance of the order service, we have an API gateway, which we will discuss the API gateway in more detail in the later videos. But for now, think about it is a something that manages and routes a request to a correct microservice within our system. So, in this example, when the customer places an order, the shopping website might use multiple microservices and multiple functions within those services in the order to satisfy the transaction. And this is why the microservice architecture, a transaction is normally distributed transaction, because transaction is actually satisfied by multiple pieces of software. That is our microservice in order to complete the transaction. And that is why the communication between the microservice needs to be super fast and lightweight in order to complete transaction quickly or very quickly. Uh, Throughout the rest of the course, you will see the design principles can be used to architect a microservice architecture like this. We will meet in the next video and discuss about the remaining topics of the microservice. Thank you for watching the video.